Going to look at your profile right now, and we'll run through sort of my reco and the first thing for profile, and then we'll talk about content. So one of the most important things that you want to do for LinkedIn is you want to have like a very clear call to action in your banner. You want to have a very simple headline that addresses like what you actually do and who you serve. So you've done a pretty reasonable job at that, right? You've got your title here, building the organic pipeline engine for B2B. I think that's good, right? If you're talking about specifically social or like how you do that or where you do that, I think you're actually solving a very interesting challenge from our conversation, which is one, a lot of teams want to invest in building personal brands for their executives, their go-to-market team, but they don't have the time to do it because they're so busy scaling. So I think one of the challenges that you're solving is that you help make it easy for those teams to actually create content using your platform, because once you connect it, anyone can repost, like, comment, engage, right? All from one place. You can have templates for your content. So I think there's a missing piece right now where a lot of this, turn content into pipeline, help B2B marketers understand, drive revenue. I think you're seeing something that's like more generic and top of funnel, when what you really solve for is like the emotional pain, and that pain that every scaling company has felt, which is like they only have a certain number of hours in the day. They understand the power of organic social. They want to invest, but they can't because of time, resources, commitment. You're solving that with your platform. So it goes a lot above just organic pipeline, right? There's that fear of missing out, right? There's only 3% of companies that are actively engaged on LinkedIn of over 1 billion users, right? It's first mover advantage. You should be one of those people, but you don't have time. So we help you do that in a way that lets you build a brand while still scaling your business, right? Like on easy mode. So that's missing right now. So right now, like the emotional hook, I would give you a C-. I think you need to find a way to connect to that story and connect that back to the business. Because one of the biggest reasons why a lot of companies who are like doing lead generation or go to market fail in their approach at outbound or organic social is people see it and they go, lead generation, it's like I get 1 million of those, and they heuristically bucket you into a camp. You need to find your unique angle, not of what makes you more of like better than someone else, but what makes you different. When I read this today, I get much more of like, a little bit of like the same. I don't know that you quite stand out from like all of those other companies. So that'd be number one. Headshot's good. Now let's scroll down and we'll look at your featured section. Okay, this is okay. Generally speaking, what you want to do is you want to have one very clear call to action in your featured section. Either that's like maybe a Nevadic tour of your product that shows how it works. Maybe it's an asset that you built to get people, your checklist on how to write hooks for personal brand. But like someone should come here, read what you're about, understand your unique point of view, and then clearly be able to take that next step in learning more about like you, your business. A lot of people just like choose their high performing post to feature, which is like fine. But I'm just seeing a bunch of like mentions here. I don't see like a clear line to like your company and what you're doing, or like a next step that I can take. And there's also like a lot of stuff here. You want to have less is more. So analogy I always give is the jam experiment, if anyone's familiar with this from psychology perspective. It's a fair where a vendor comes and they have 20 jams on a table, and they're trying to sell jams, and people are coming through, and they use 20 jams for the first few hours, and then they take it back to just 5 jams. When they removed 15 jams, they increased their sales by close to 35%. And the reason was because of less choice. Same is true on LinkedIn. There are people that have 10 lines in their headline, 50 things in their banner, right? 5 things pinned in their feature section. You want to have one message, one thing people remember, and one clear next step that you should take. The more you add, it's the same way you add more features. It's not adding more power, it's adding more complexity. So always think Coco Chanel. What can I take off of my profile before leaving the house that's going to get it to a place where it's going to help people to convert? Okay, now we'll look at your about. Again, most people do not hit the see more. So this should tell me everything I need to know about what you do. Follow me to become a B2B growth and marketing superhero. I think this is a little bit cliche for marketers. I think the like rockstar ninja superhero, I would kill that word, because I think a lot of people have a pain if they've been hired as a head of marketing or a VP of marketing. It's often a glorified way to say, we're going to pay you the salary of one person, but you have to do the job of 4. So it's like a bit of a trigger word. And I think it's kind of like run its course and doesn't necessarily like say anything about like what you're doing, but like personal branding, the company, and that gap. I think this is smart around, you know, your experience, because social is about shortcuts. You want to have social trust of like what you're doing, but you know, sustainable growth explorer, I think, is another one of those more like jargon heavy terms that doesn't connect to marketers. And like this doesn't say anything. So from what I know about you, what that should say is like what we highlighted here, which is, you know, the power of organic social is X, but most companies can't do it because of Y. We help you solve it with Z, right? Proof points. Now, if I hit your C more, I don't know if you cover that off, so we'll see. I talk about what is letter drop and want to chat. So one thing you can do here is like, there's some social trust missing in your about. It's like, talk about the key things that give you expertise. So what you told me was, right, close to 65% of your inbound comes from your organic social. That's a proof point. That's missing in here, right? Find a way to drink your own champagne and link that to your like your content. And another thing that's really important is like use bullets and arrows to hit those key points where it's scannable. If someone has 10 seconds on your about page, like give me the data, give me the stories, give me a few quick bullets, funding raised, like whatever is going to be those like quick hits for trust. But I'd say from a language perspective, I'm going to give you a D- here. But again, happy to keep going, just being as candid as possible.